Welcome to The Voice America. Today we'll be discussing on how Donald Trump abandoned an excellent giant trade effect with China. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to always get updated on our latest video. Let's begin. China has applied to hitch a serious Asia-Pacific trade partnership that the US ditched several years ago because the world's second-largest economy tries to bolster its relationships within the region. Chinese Commerce Minister Wang Wentao applied for membership within the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership (CPTPP), consistent with a press release published by the ministry late Thursday. The CPTPP is an 11-country trade pact that came into force in December 2018 and includes Mexico, Australia, Canada, and Singapore. It succeeded the Trans-Pacific Partnership (TPP) after the US withdrew under former President Donald Trump in 2017. The TPP was negotiated under former US President Barack Obama, who wanted to counterbalance China's growing clout within the region by imposing US-backed labor, environmental and patent protections. Obama wanted the deal to be a serious part of his legacy, but his successor, Trump, withdrew the US from the partnership in 2017. Chinese leaders began angling to require its place soon. US President Joe Biden backed the TPP during his time serving as Obama's vice chairman. But his stance has shifted over the years. While running for president in 2019, Biden said he would not rejoin the TPP because it was initially suggests. "I would insist that we renegotiate pieces of that," Biden said at a presidential debate during the Democratic primary. Chinese officials on Friday boosted the thought of involvement with the CPTPP. Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhao Lijian called it conducive to promoting regional economic integration within the Asia-Pacific region, also because the economic recovery, trade development and investment growth after the pandemic, at a news conference. The agreement cuts tariffs among participants, standardizes regulations in areas like food safety, and determines levels of market access for goods and services, like visa rules for business travelers, which may vary between members. But the trail forward might not be easy for China, particularly since relations between the country and CPTPP member nation Australia are worsening. In recent years, Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison has moved to embrace the US more closely as a security partner, building a private relationship with Trump and attempting to try to with same together with his successor, Biden. China's official application comes just each day after Canberra signed a security effect the US, and therefore the UK called AUKUS. Australian coal, wine, barley and beef have all already been suffering from trade tensions with China, and experts say that defense deal has antagonized Beijing further. China probably won't get into CPTPP anytime soon, but news of its formal application coming each day after the AUKUS announcement neatly underscores the continuing rift in how Washington and Beijing imagine competition in Asia, tweeted Ankit Panda, a fellow at the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace. Still, the Chinese and Australian economies are highly hooked into one another. In 2020, tensions between Australia and China didn't stop the two countries from pressing ahead with a trade deal in Asia-Pacific, called the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, as both nations saw benefits from their deeper economic integration with other Asian countries. The RCEP spans 15 countries, including Japan, Indonesia, and Thailand, and a couple of 0.2 billion people, or nearly 30% of the world's population. At Friday's news conference, Zhao, the Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman, said that China's efforts to hitch the CPTPP have nothing to try to with the US, UK and Australia trilateral agreements. China is pushing for economic cooperation and regional integration, while the US, the United Kingdom and Australia are pushing for war and destruction, he added. Albeit China were allowed to hitch the CPTPP, the country may find some aspects of the agreement challenging, said Alex Capri, a search fellow at Heinrich Foundation. He singled out e-commerce and data standards, though said China could also be ready to find loopholes. Keep in mind that when the US pulled out, some 20 provisions handling data privacy, IP protection and other digital standards were essentially placed on hold, Capri added. Meanwhile, China is not the only country attempting to hitch the CPTPP. Earlier this year, the UK began talks on entering the partnership, which it sees together of its biggest opportunities to forge economic alliances beyond Europe after Brexit. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to always get updated on our latest